Question everything. Thank you for tuning in today. Today you are going to learn how to design your life from the inside out from Tanja K, otherwise known as Tanja Krstic. I'm trying to get that
Thank you.
accent down. Tanja is from Serbia, and she is dedicated to helping people go from feeling stuck and insecure to totally free and fulfilled. Can you talk about that with us for a minute? Like, how does that work? What do you do?
Well, we always design from the inside, okay? Always, all the time. But most of the people are not aware.
It's
That's
true.
it. It's how we create things from the inside. I might share a little story how this whole design inside out came to me, okay? Because I'm interior designer by
Oh,
vocation and I do the designs, okay? But my true passion is coaching, is helping people, okay? So when I started being aware of everything that we are doing, okay, in our lives, I was thinking about my job. When I'm creating, when I'm thinking about something, about designing something, I'm creating from the inside, right?
that is true. Yes.
Yeah, thoughts. Yeah. First, I have a vision of something that I want to design in my head, okay, and then it's in a material world. And then I start thinking, okay, this is a great analogy how I can explain exactly what is happening to, I mean, most of the people are not aware of that. We are creating all the time.
All
We
the
are
time.
thinking in pictures, right? And then it comes in material world. It's a little bit scary if you're having thoughts that are not serving you.
It's very true, and I've experienced this before on the good and the bad side. I've thought things that I didn't want to happen, and they've happened. I've thought things that I didn't think would happen on the positive note, and they've still come to manifest. Talk to us a little bit more about. It sounds like you. I know I watched a video of yours earlier today where you're talking about manifestation. What
Yes.
so from interior designer and realizing that you design from the inside out. There has to be a story behind this, but I want to thank you first of all for coming on the show. This is the first time we've spoke besides 8 minutes before we started this podcast.
That's
And
right.
we share a coach, James Hilliard, and I've seen you all throughout Facebook. So I'll just go a little background about Question Everything real quick, and then we'll get started in the questions. So Question Everything is creating a path to take outliers, outcasts, and catalysts and show them that the energy they've been fighting so hard to suppress for others can be channeled into that leader that they truly are, and in turn teach others to do the same. Our vision is to take these outcasts, outliers, and catalysts and show them at their core what they're capable of by providing a mirror that they can look into, a roadmap that they can follow, and a set of principles they can live by. There are 5 principles that Question Everything as a brand stand on, and those are courage, integrity, accountability, trust, and authenticity. Keeping these principles in mind as you answer these questions, remember that your authentic story is the value in this interview. Now, with all that being said, again, thank you for your courage. This takes a
That
lot
was,
of courage to jump
thank you.
on a podcast with someone you don't know. Um, and then just to be on, I mean, it's not just a podcast, it's not just your voice. People can see you too.
Yes.
Is there, I know you had that, we'll talk about an aha moment later, but there had to be, no, there doesn't have to be. I want to ask, is there a relationship that inspired you, motivated you, encouraged you along your journey? And if so, how do you nurture that relationship?
Mm-hmm. Yes, of course. The most important relationships is towards ourselves. Okay.
Ooh, yeah.
Now, you probably didn't expect this, okay, or audience, okay? People, you have to build healthy relationship with yourself.
Mm,
First of all, not ego trip, not ego love. You gotta love yourself,
yeah.
first of all,
Yeah.
in order to love somebody else.
Mm,
That's the first and maybe the toughest thing, okay, I had to learn. I was the whole of my life. I was always there. I was always everything for everybody, but for me,
Yes.
all around. But never, and I always thought it was selfish, limited beliefs, my paradigm.
Mm.
Okay.
Oh.
So that's the first thing. First thing, I had one client who said to me, first thing I do, and he was really excited because he thought I will say, yeah, that's the way to go. He said, the first thing I do when I wake up, I send love to my girlfriend. I said, no, 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 wait a second. First, you send love to yourself. That's it. That's how we start. If you
Yes.
love yourself, then you will be able to love others. So that's the relationship. And it's not ending, it's never ending story. Okay. You always have to build that relationship and the awareness of course, you have to expand the awareness all the time.
It's very true. This reminds me of an analogy I hear a lot with a lot of coaches and speakers, that if you're in an airplane and the cabin loses pressure and the oxygen masks come down, do you put the mask on your child first or yourself?
That is so good.
Right?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
When I first heard that, I was like, on my child. My child's gonna die. And then they're like, okay. And when you put it on the child and then you pass out, can the child put it on you? I'm thinking my children are a little older, but they'd understand. But the point of it is you have to take care of yourself before you take care of other people. You can't pour from an empty cup. You have to fill up first. Now,
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
I imagine that in this journey to instead of doing for everyone and starting to do more for yourself so that you have more to give, was there a point where you started to question everything? I know we all have that moment where life just doesn't add up and we are riddled with questions, and it's like just
Mm-hmm.
everything is under question, right? Because everything we know is subject to revision, including the truth. So
Yes.
when did you start questioning everything, and what changed when you did?
Such a good question. I think I questioned all of my life,
Mm,
really, until the point when I found out what is the truth. I really mean it. Intuitively, until I don't know, I was really young. I think I was 14 or 15 years old. Okay, there were things outside, okay, in life that really didn't make sense to me. Okay, limited beliefs and they came into play later, okay? But I was asking myself, how can somebody, let's say, be rich and healthy and good person, and on the other side we have somebody who is, because the paradigm, the limited belief I was brought with, grew up, was if you have a lot of money, you must be, criminal or something. Something is wrong, okay? Money is evil, that kind of. I guess the
yes.
audience also knows about those limited beliefs. So that, I guess, that was the first thing I start questioning. Then questions just came from everywhere. Okay, so intuitively I always wanted to know the truth.
Mm, that search for
Always.
truth, that search for truth. And what was that? Was there a moment that sparked that search for truth? Something that opened your eyes, like an aha moment? And if so, what was it? What was that moment that just made it all made
Mm-hmm.
you want to search for the truth?
Mm-hmm. Okay, if I get this right, this question, well, I had so many aha moments, okay? Uh, so many, really. But one of the, maybe, um, you don't have to work hard to earn a lot of money. You see, I'm talking always about the money, okay? I love that topic, that subject.
Mm-hmm.
People avoid that. They always run away from that topic. I love talking about the money because, once again, I grew up in an environment where you should be, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be grateful, but you shouldn't be satisfied, because the purpose is to grow always. In whatever you do, you must grow, because energy is moving all the time.
It
Either
is.
it's created, either it's destroyed. So we must grow, or we go the opposite, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't stay where you are.
No, no.
You can for some time, but you will feel that urge that you have to do something more. And then you level up and you have that urge, you have to. So the aha moment was, okay, I don't have to work from 9 to 5, like everybody told me. Okay, I'm a designer. I'm even in the teaching business. I was in the teaching business for more than a decade. Okay,
Oh, wow.
so I created my own economy. I created all my own time for working. Okay. So that was, I guess, the first aha moment. Okay, this is doable. This can be done,
Yeah.
really. And that's what I did. That's what I
That
did.
that's really inspiring. I know there's so many people that are so tired of being stuck in that 9 to 5, that hamster wheel, that running full force for someone else to benefit, while they just throw their lives down the drain, and knowing that there's something more. You know, that feeling that you talked about, that there has to be something more. There has to be something more than this that would be satisfying for me. And there's that fear, right? If I make this leap, will I survive?
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
And you had that moment where you realized this is doable. What were the fears that you had to overcome in that moment?
Oh, a lot of them. First of all, I think the most common fear, what other think about me.
Mm,
I would,
mm,
if you tune into yourself, you will always think, what will my, it doesn't matter how old you are, okay? You're grown up, but you still think, what will my parents think about if I do that? What will my neighbors say? What will my girlfriend, my partner say if I do that?
mm.
So, and I guess that was the environment, you know? What
Yes.
will they think if I make this decision? Okay. And then I made decision, a really good one. Okay. I'm going to make my own decisions, and I'm never ever going to ask anybody what they think I should do,
Yes.
because it's my life. How can they know? No way.
Yeah.
So I think that is the greatest fear, not just for me, for the most people. I
Oh
believe.
yeah, I can agree. I want to say it was the end of 2012. I was on the phone with someone and I was like, I really think I need to stop asking people what they think. And then almost immediately, without thinking about it, I said, "What do you think?" And they laughed so hard for so long, and I was like, "What?" Oh, I just did it again, didn't I? And that's kind of why I do what I do. Taking people from confused to confident in 90 days without the need for outside validation. That is the key part right there, is because we can do what we do as coaches, but as long as someone is needing that outside validation, they're not going to move. As long as someone is needing that certainty, that validation from someone else outside of, like you said, you have to focus on yourself first. You have to give love to yourself first. I know that takes an extraordinary amount of courage. I know there's some accountability. That what do you feel like the difference is between accountability and validation? So someone holding you accountable versus having their validation. Do you think that there's a fine line there? And
That's such a good question. Well, you see, I don't, you know how people talk about accountability person or partner or something. I'm accountable for myself.
ooh,
Because listen to me, yes. And people, listen to me. if you don't do something, if you said that you're going to do, let's say, exercise for 10 minutes, for 10 minutes, and you don't do it, you're not putting down somebody else, your accountability partner. Okay, you're putting yourself down, and your self-image is minus minus 40. Okay, it's going down. We know exactly inside what we did and didn't do.
Yes.
You don't need, sometimes, that's my opinion, okay? Sometimes I think we don't need accountability person. We know exactly what we did. If we didn't do that, and if we even procrastinate more, okay, we will suffer. Our self-image goes down. If I said, this is a great example, this interview, if I said, I'm going to be here, okay, today, 5 p.m. Central European time, and I didn't show up, maybe I would let you down. But do you know who would suffer the most? Me.
I feel that 1,000%. Yes. Because while you may have an accountability partner to push you, I feel like accountability partners are like that bridge between learning to be accountable for yourself, but from the school system that we grow up in that makes us depend on other people for our accountability, right? Like, I got to turn in my paper or else I'll get a bad grade. I've got to do this report or else I won't pass. Well, that's what we grow up with, and then we have to unlearn all that as we go through life, right? And learn that
Yes.
in the end, it wasn't really about turning in the paper for the teacher. Like you said, it was about letting yourself down. That self-esteem. There's a reason why it's called self-esteem, right?
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
That's
That's right.
beautiful. I love your perspective on this. And I imagine there had to be some chaos in this process for you of
So you
coming
imagine.
into I
Yeah.
just imagine, I don't know if I could feel that, but yeah, no, I definitely know there had to be some chaos. So how do you find balance in the chaos?
Well, I guess if you ask me or somebody else, everybody can tell you at some point they're in some kind of chaos. Okay, always there is something going on. Always, we are getting into new businesses, leaving old businesses, family, friends. There is always some kind of problems, challenges all the time. Something is happening around always. I think something that keeps me focused is that I'm really focused. One, I exercise focus, okay? And I exercise being present. If I'm talking to you right now, I'm really with you right now.
Yeah.
Okay? I don't take my phone, I don't think of what will I do later or something like that. And third thing is gratitude. I'm always deeply grateful for what I have right now. It's not a cliche, and I would really love the audience to understand this because being grateful will put you in the great vibration where you need to be to feel good. Think about all the things you have. You will feel happiness. Exactly.
It's true. It's very true. My view on gratitude is the key to the door that unlocks more. It is impossible to be miserable and grateful at the same time. It just you can try if you want. But I was gonna ask, are there like three steps or three things that you do to balance the chaos? And I love that you just went into that. That's perfect. So I want the audience to hear this. She's focused. She's intently focused. She's present. She's in the moment. She's not on her phone. She's not on social media. She's not thinking about what's happening next or what's for dinner.
That's right.
And she's grateful. Those three things alone it doesn't matter where you're at in life, right? You're going to balance by practicing these three things.
That's right.
And
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
and you know, I love that you're saying this from Serbia. It's not just in the US that this works. This works across the earth too on Central European time.
Mm-hmm. That's right, Gregory. Yeah. People everywhere. Everywhere you go, people are challenging with the same things.
Yes,
Exactly the same things. Cultures might be a little bit different, but people are people everywhere you go.
absolutely. And I was going to ask you, I'm glad you brought up the culture. I'm always interested in how, like, I don't, for me, I know that there's another side of the world, there's another way that people do things, and there's just a completely different world that exists outside of the US. I find it really sad when someone's never left the state they've been in the US or the US of A, and they have such a narrow view on the world, right?
Yeah.
Talk
Mm-hmm.
to us a little bit about the cultural differences that you notice from there to here.
Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, everybody must understand that we are exactly the same. Now, this is deep. This is really deep. We are all exactly the same. By the birth, we were given the perfection to do everything we want. That's the first thing you must be aware of. Okay? You don't have to get it. You can develop some of the things with coaches. Okay? And you never stop developing, expanding yourself, but you already have everything you need.
I love the way you
That
think.
much I would say about the culture differences, okay?
Yeah,
Anywhere you are in the world, anywhere.
I love that.
US, yeah.
I love that you're confirming that, but that's something that I always say. Everything that you need is already inside of you. You don't need any extra information from the outside. I love Dr. Wayne Dyer said this. He said, people are always searching for something on the outside to put in the inside to make them different. And I want to say it was Napoleon Hill or Bob Proctor had mentioned this, that the word educate comes from the Latin word educo, which means to deduce, to bring from within. So
That's right.
education was never meant to take things from the outside and put them on the inside. It was meant to bring out the person that you truly are on the inside through these tests and processes, and the stress that comes that brings out that flower on the inside to bloom. But Dr. Wayne Dyer said, we're trying to put information into our form, information, right? Trying to put something into our form to make us better, when what we need is
Mm-hmm.
inspiration, which comes from within, in
That's
spirit,
right.
inspiration. And
Mm-hmm.
that, when I heard that, it's one of those things like with national disasters like 9/11, JFK being shot, OJ Simpson, like all these things that happened that everyone knows exactly where they were when it happened. This is one of those moments for me when I found out about information versus inspiration and the word education, and it was like, I remember exactly where I was, what I was doing. I was driving under a bridge, turning and
Mm-hmm.
looking into a field thinking, that just blew my brain.
Yeah.
But it's so
The,
true. No matter where you are, humans are humans, and we share a desire to grow, a desire to learn, a desire for more, and everything we need is already inside of us. And we go through this journey of thinking that, through the school system, we have to have something
yes.
on the outside of us to put on the inside of us, and we have to do this. And
Yes.
what I'm realizing through getting out of school and going back to school, college, and then getting into corporate world, which I never was in corporate. I was always in the food service industry. I feel like school kind of prepares you to be stuck at a desk working, and
Oh, yes. Yes.
it's almost
Absolutely.
like we're conditioned to do something. How how did you break out of that? Like, okay, so You talked about getting out of that 9 to 5. We talked about what it took, your aha moment.
Mm-hmm.
To get to a point where you are doing what you are meant to do authentically. How did you get to your authentic self, and how do you remain authentic in your craft?
Mm-hmm. This might be a little longer answer. Okay,
That's good.
let's
That's good.
go. Yeah, let's go back when you were talking about all those things are happening. Okay, outside, and they make you think. Okay, I had an educational system. I love that because school never teaches us how to make the decision, and the second, how to make money. You will never, I don't know, in US, you won't hear it in Europe, okay? They will teach you some economy stuff, but they will never teach you those things, okay?
Yeah.
So I went, I'm, by the way, I'm by vocation interior designer, and I had 2 college degrees, and I found myself 2017. Let's go back. Unemployed. This is very important. Two college degrees, unemployed, with all this knowledge, zero on my bank account. That was the turning point for me.
Can you repeat that? I feel like that is so powerful for someone listening right now. Somebody is going to get something from this and take that leap. 2017, all this knowledge, 2 college degrees, unemployed, and zero in your bank account.
Exactly. And what is society is teaching us that you have to go through the school, get straight A's, and everything will be perfect. Pay taxes, whatever, okay?
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
So I proved everything was wrong. Okay, at that point, everything was wrong, and I call it beautiful destruction. Okay,
Ooh.
beautiful, because it has to happen. Because I subconsciously, intuitively, I felt I need to go through that to find, like you said, I always knew there was something better. And I was unemployed, not because of the country I'm in. I was unemployed because I didn't want to work from 9 to 5. That wasn't my desire. I knew there must be something better. Okay, so then I think that was the moment when I made the decision that I will create my own economy, that everything is, of course, then accidents happen. Like, you don't know what accidents, you see by accident some video that is telling you that everything comes from the inside, and you have that urge to know more, and then you grow more and more, and you learn, and then you I guess you find your purpose finds you. You don't look for the purpose finds you. Okay, least expected. Okay, when least expected, I found out that in fact, while I was in the teaching business, I was coaching all the time. I just wasn't aware of that.
Yeah. You don't look for purpose, it finds you. That is deep. I like that. Now, in that process, I know we already talked about the fears that you had to overcome. What would you suggest for people struggling with getting to their authentic selves?
Mm-hmm. Well, I would say there are 2 most important days in our lives. I always remind myself of this. One was, who said that, okay, right?
Yeah.
When we found out we were born, okay, first. Okay, so we are here, that's fine. And you, the audience watching this, that you've done that, okay? Your mother did it for you, okay? But you're here, okay, right?
Yeah.
Now, the second thing is that you have to find out why you were born. Why are you here? Now, this is deep. Maybe it sounds like woo woo. Now, wait a second. I can't do this. Oh, yes, you can. Yes, you
Yes.
can. Give yourself some time. Give
Yeah.
yourself some time. That's right. And the answer to your question is that everybody is unique.
Mm.
Everybody is equal, but everybody is unique. We
Yes.
all have the same potential, but we can teach the same thing, but you deliver the information's different than I do with my funny accent, right? Agree?
I agree. Or is it mine that's the funny accent?
Mm. That was good. That was good, Gregor. That's right.
I mean, that you're right. Everyone's unique. Everyone has to find their way. There's two most important days in our lives, the day that we were born and the day that we find out why. That's the $1 million question. You see that in cartoons, and I remember The Simpsons. I think it was The
Mm-hmm.
Simpsons. It just, what is the meaning of life? I want to say it was the movie Guardians of the Galaxy. They asked that question to the great computer or whatever it was, and it was like 42.
Uh-huh.
The answer is 42. It's it's funny, but that the answer to that question is subjective. It's on a case by case, person by person basis. What works for That's why I look at a lot of these programs, coaching programs. There's always someone putting something out there for us to learn from, right? Some step process. And while these things may work for certain people, what works for one person may kill another, right? So
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
in being authentic, what you do is you will shake off the people that don't vibrate with who you are, that don't resonate with what you have to give, and you'll attract more of the people that can gain from you, right?
Yeah.
So the importance in being authentic is not only knowing what your purpose is, but being intentional in being who you are and doing what lights you up on the inside, because you're going to attract those other people that resonate with you, and you're going to change lives. You're going to make an impact. I imagine that you've already made an impact in your community doing what you do.
Yes, exactly. That's right.
So thank you for that. So the suggest just to recap, you suggest for people struggling with being authentic is to find out why they're here.
Yes. Yes.
How would they go about that? What do you think is a good process if you
Mm-hmm.
had to
That's a
give?
good question. That's a good question. I would suggest that, especially people working from 9 to 5, thinking that's the only thing they have, that's the only source of income, to sit down and ask themselves, just be with themselves, okay? Without anybody else, just be
Mm,
with you, okay? Ask yourself, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? By the age of 7, they probably knew, but through the educational system, they forgot, or somebody killed their dreams.
ooh,
They know inside what they need to do. So they should just sit down and ask themselves, what do I want to do? What do I really want to? I have only this one life. What do I want to do?
what could be some roadblocks or barriers that you think would come up in that process? Because I know the first thing that happens when you're trying to break out and do something different than what you learned is what looks like anger, what looks like I'll do it later, which is really at the core of it fear. Would you say
Mm-hmm.
that there's some fears that are going to come up, and like some things that they could look out for in this
Mm-hmm.
process?
Of course. First, you need to make committed decision that you're really going to do it.
Hmm.
That you're really going to do it no matter what. Because if your desire is strong, you have the ability to do it. If
Said it.
you don't have the desire, your goal is not right. you don't really want to do that. I think about talking about the purpose, what we want to do, that's not the only thing. Uh, I think people should think about the lifestyle they want to live. Okay, how do you want to live? Do you want to full-time job? How do you want to work? Think about it. You are creating things. Now, that's the first thing I think people have. Why? Because they're playing always from the outside. Somebody else is telling them what to do. Somebody else, and if they're in corporate job or somewhere, they're always working for somebody else. They're always working on somebody else's dreams because, and there is a fear. And yeah, you brought up the question of fear. Of course, there is a fear. Now, what if I don't succeed? Well, if you have the desire, if you're focused on what you want, you will succeed. And one more thing, things won't always go your way, just as you imagined. No way. They can't go that way, okay? Because everything is movement and there are laws of the universe. I don't want to talk about them. We don't have enough time right now for that. But there are so much things to know, okay? So let's say just things won't go smoothly as you imagine all the time.
Yeah.
Now, how bad do you want that? Is your desire really that strong? If it is, you won't quit. You will never quit.
That's true.
Never.
Now, you sound very well versed in this. I believe that we all have a mantra, a quote, or a saying that changes our lives forever. Is there a mantra, quote, or saying that when you heard it, it stuck with you?
Yes, yes. Well, I have a lot of them, but one that I love the most. If I want to be free, I got to be me. Okay, that's it. That's it.
I love that.
And yeah, and there is more. Not me that my wife thinks I should be, not me that my kids thinks I should be. If I want to be free, I got to be me. So I better know who me really is.
That sounds.
Who
This
am
sounds like.
I?
Yeah, it sounds like it could be a Disney song. I just hear, if I want to be free, I got to be me. You know,
Yeah.
it's a show tune. That is beautiful. Um, thank you so much for this. That there's a lot of wisdom here in just this interview, and I want to encourage people to reach out to you if they're trying to design their lives from the inside out. If you don't control your life, if you don't manage your life, someone or something will, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
I have this script of questions, but as I go along, as I do more of these shows, there's more questions that come up, obviously, right?
Yeah.
As well versed as you are in this subject, I know a lot of it is from experience, but are there any books that you would suggest people read? Any books that really, like, that you've read that have really helped change your life?
Mm-hmm. Well, something, let's say one book they should start from. Something, okay, let's not go deeper, okay, because I don't think you have to read all the books in the world to be successful. You should learn all the time, but you don't have to. For those who are procrastinating or thinking they have to make it perfect, no. Start with Power of Subconscious Mind, Joseph Murphy. Okay, that's enough. Start with that. It's so you everybody can understand it, I think, how the power of subconscious and conscious mind works.
Power of Subconscious Mind, you said who, Murphy?
Yeah, Joseph Murphy.
Murphy. That's
Joseph
what I thought you
Murphy.
said. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge. I love that you're talking about the subconscious mind, because I don't think people realize how much the subconscious plays a part. Like when we say I don't want to do something, our brain doesn't hear don't. It just hears, I want to do something.
Mm-hmm.
What we focus on grows. Where focus goes, energy flows. Good old Tony Robbins, right?
Yeah, I love that. That's also as a song from Disney.
Right? It's another Disney song. Stay tuned. We're making a soundtrack after this.
Yeah, let's go.
Now, that the power of the subconscious mind. Can you talk to us a little bit about what revelations have come from reading this book?
Mm-hmm. Okay. First thing, well, we should need 1 hour more to explain all this in really, really deep, so people get, well, but let's make it our conscious mind. Okay, you must understand that 96% of the time you are working from your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is emotional mind.
Yeah.
It was created by the age of 5 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you want to replace those ideas, you have to repeat the new ideas to yourself. So you replace the old ideas that we call paradigm. Those are massive limited beliefs, habits that we created until such an early age, okay? So the power of subconscious mind is really through the repetition, repeating yourself new type of idea and replacing old. Now that old idea won't vanish like magic. It won't vanish, okay? It will be there. But this one will be stronger. And then you level up. And then you have the new paradigm. And then you repeat things once again. And you replace that old paradigm with the new paradigm. And you grow and so on. Well, that's for this time we have.
Hey, that's amazing. Like, there's a lot of meat in that. There's a lot to unpack in there, but I just want to ask one follow-up question to that. And I've heard so many different numbers. There's, 30, 60, 90. 30 days to break a habit, 30 days to establish a new one, 30 days to set it in stone. There's 66, 200. You have to do something 66 times, and then 200 more times. And then I've heard 210,000.
Exactly.
10,000 hours. There's so many. Do you think that there's a number that you can place on how many times you'd have to repeat something in order for it to change the paradigm?
That's the great question. Okay. Do you know why people use numbers? Because most of the people trust numbers.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
If I tell you right now, Gregory, you will break that habit. You will create new habit in 33 days. I guarantee it. You will. Your subconscious mind will pick up that, and in 33 days, you will a little bit create a new habit. Now listen to this. But that is not enough. So your paradigm is so strong that it will break the new habit, and you will go back to the old paradigm. I think that everybody is different. It depends of the paradigm, of those beliefs that we have. It's not the same for everybody. That's what I think.
And do you think that, I know there's a lot of new questions coming up, and like you said, we would need a new hour, right? Do you think that people should change old people, places, and things when they're trying to change their paradigm? Or, because I know for myself, I had to run away from everything I knew in order to create a new paradigm for myself, because like you said, that subconscious mind, that paradigm that we formed by the age of 7, was so strong that if we stay around the people that remind us, like family, which brings up so much conflict inside, but it's my family, but it's the people I grew up with, but it's my friends, but it's what I've always done. Do you think that tradition ruins paradigm shifts?
Absolutely. Yes. Once again, because we are afraid of maybe you ruin that relationships. You don't have to do that. Okay. All you need to do is not. I'll give my example. Okay. That is also and clients always keep asking me that same question. Do we need to, not just clients, but people, do we need to isolate, in fact, ourselves from those toxic, negative people, in order to bring something new to replace that old idea? Not necessarily. You just don't need to accept those ideas. What I would suggest, this is hard to do, but this is what I did. Okay, think about, don't tell anybody, I mean, nobody, what you're going to do. If you know that, and you know exactly what your family and friends are like, if you know that they won't be supportive, don't share with them your new ideas, and especially if they're concerned about the money, new relationship, or something. You already, how can they know what is good for you? No way.
That's
You
true.
are the only one who knows.
Yeah.
Okay. So I would say, suggest this, that you stay with yourself once again, focused on what you want to do. You might share that, but I would recommend not until you get first results. When
Yeah.
you get first results, uh, they will come to congratulate you. Yeah, and they
Yeah,
will
but
ask, "What are you doing?" And it's not easy if you're in contact with somebody who is pretty negative or something like that. Think about something good about that person. There must be something good in that person.
yes.
This is really hard. Let's say
Yeah.
that person is really annoying, it's so negative, and it's trying to pull you into her world or his world,
Yeah.
Think about the good things and what I do, how I shift the energy. I give the compliment,
Mm.
but not fake. It must be really, really sincere compliment. And
This
that's
all
how it shifts energy
yeah.
in them.
Because energy doesn't
Everything.
die. It's only transferred.
Yeah, that's right. Then as you grow, those people who won't be able to follow up with you, you'll have to leave some of them. That's fine. Be
Yeah.
fine with it.
Yeah. Acceptance, and this all goes back to gratitude. Like, what can I be grateful for about this person, even though their mindset is not where I think it should be? There has to be something about them. Because everyone is capable of this paradigm shift. Everyone is capable of making this change. I just think that fear keeps them trapped at times. And until we realize that it's fear that's holding us back, we are not ever going to reach our full potential, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, with all this being said, thank you so much for coming on the show. Like, your insight is amazing. I've loved this interview. I always like to leave the show with this. What is one question that you think that everyone should be asking themselves?
What do I really want to do? What do I really, really want to do in my life? And
I,
write it down.
what do you think? Do you think there's a power in writing things down?
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. I always teach writing causes thinking. You must write it down. Okay, Gregory, also, I wanted to say thank you for inviting me. It was such a great time, and I hope we helped people, okay? Both of us.
I absolutely, I 100%. I believe in this. This is what I really want to do: is help people through asking questions, change the world one question at a time. And I mean, as I learn from people like you all across the world, thank you, pandemic, for opening up this possibility, because this technology has existed, but we never really understood the depth of what it could do until we were left with no other choice, right?
Yes, yes, exactly. I agree.
This just opens up the doors to so much more. So, um, two more questions. Are there two people that you can think of right now that have an inspiring story like yours, or that you know are crushing their goals right now in life, that you would want to see me interview on the show?
From my environment, you mean? Or
wherever you could think of, two people that come to mind when you think of an inspiring story, or someone that's just has that mindset shift and is getting all of their goals accomplished.
Okay, as we grow, I don't think nobody accomplished all of their goals, okay? But
Right.
they're on the good track. Maybe I really have the urge to mention my mindset coach, okay? He's one of Bob's best advisors, Matthew Bujaya. His story is amazing. His story is amazing.
Will you spell that last name for me?
Okay, I'll write it in the messenger later.
Perfect. Matthew Bujaya. Okay. And a second person.
And the second person, if you can reach that man, it's a Bob Proctor. I love that.
So I'm going to pull a Bob Proctor on Bob Proctor. I'm going to keep bugging him until he gets on the show. Yeah. Because you referred him.
Yes.
That is so cool. That, you know what? That would make my day, because I've seen Lewis Howes interview him. I've seen his shows. Like I listen to Bob Proctor all the time. He was talking about the story about the book U Squared, and how he was selling so many of them that Price Pritchett called him up and was like, "What are you doing? Like, we never had an agreement. You're just selling all my book. What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm giving good information because you've given really good information." So he sold hundreds of copies. Like, yeah, he's persistent, and he's definitely one of. Did you know he has the Bellagio? I think it's the Bellagio booked for his 100th birthday or something like that in 2024.
Oh, I didn't know that. No.
Yeah, it's funny. I'll send you the link to that.
Please.
So, again, thank you for coming on. I want to let people know where they can find you, so that they can get the experience, get coaching from you. Okay,
Facebook group Design Inside Out. They can reach me there. Join the group. We can put the link below later. Yep. Okay.
The link will be in the description on where you can find her on Facebook, personal profile, and her group Design Inside Out, which I am actually following, and I love the advice that goes in there. I love her live videos.
Like, comment, subscribe, share. Hate me if you really feel you need to take it there. We can address that too. Question me, question you, question everything, because that's what we do.
I'll also leave a link in the comments. This is a new thing I'm doing. You can donate as you feel led to. I will donate 50% of the proceeds in increments of 25% each to One Tree Planet and Mental Health America, because those are the two charities that I've chosen as my philanthropy journey. And the rest keeps this show going because, sadly, Tanja, I still have a day job. Not for long, though. Not for long. Until next time, question everything, and remember, if anything scares you, face it head on so that nothing stands in your way. Let's change the world one question at a time. Thank you, Tanja. Thank you, audience. We will see you next time.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.